everyone, I'm Emma Bullitt, and this is my research exemplar. The article titled Pandemic Problems in the Ivory Tower, Exploring Employee Engagement During the COVID-19 Crisis by Laura Lemon and Matthew VanDyke explores the impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic on universities, specifically focusing on communication processes and employee experiences. The emergence of the pandemic in 2020 drastically altered our daily routines, particularly in terms of our physical contact with others. As a result, universities were forced to quickly adapt to the changes, which led to a transition to virtual or hybrid formats. This study aimed to investigate perceptions of internal communication at research-intensive universities and its effects on employee engagement experiences. Internal communication, in an organizational context, refers to the sharing of information between employees, management, and departments. Employee engagement has been defined as a positive and fulfilling state of mind that is characterized by enthusiasm, dedication, and active involvement at one's place of work. Previous work has highlighted connections between internal communication and employee engagement, suggesting that employee engagement is higher when internal communication addresses individual needs and organizational issues. Effective internal communication is critical in the midst of a crisis to ease employee concern and maintain the smooth functioning of the organization's operations. The researchers conducted a qualitative study using semi-structured interviews, which are a flexible type of interview using open-ended questions that vary from participant to participant. The study had a total of 21 participants, 12 men and 9 women, from 15 different U.S. R1 universities. Participants fell into 4 employee categories: vice presidents of research, research institute and center directors, faculty, and communication professionals at research centers. Prior to the interviews, participants were asked to sign an informed consent form, which detailed that participation was voluntary and asked if they consented to being audio recorded. The interviews were conducted via phone or video calls. The interviews began with rapport building, or questions that help the interviewee feel comfortable and likable, which came naturally through a social conversation as the researchers were also from academic institutions. Grand tour questions, which are questions asking for an overview of familiar descriptive knowledge or for memories about an activity or event, were used to ask participants about their work experience and years with their current institution. Next, questions regarding the participants' experiences with engagement, extent of internal communication within the university, and experiences of burnout in the midst of the pandemic were asked. Interviews lasted between 21 and 59 minutes, with an average of 39 minutes. Analysis of the interview transcripts revealed complex and paradoxical experiences influenced by both formal, from the university administration, and informal, more casual communication. There were 3 major themes that illustrated these experiences, including blurred boundaries, communication overload, and partially prepared universities. Communication blurred organizational boundaries, both in positive and negative ways. Participants stated that working remotely due to the pandemic allowed for increased access to colleagues and collaborators from different locations, which helped increase their engagement. However, the increased communication and access also blurred boundaries between work and home life. This resulted in some participants feeling like they were working all the time, which led to burnout. This especially affected participants who were parents. Informal communication channels, such as constant Zoom meetings, led to communication overload and exhaustion. Although participants felt that maintaining connection was crucial, excessive communication decreased their engagement. Additionally, formal communication from university administration was described as being both excessive and unclear. Due to the constant changes and updates regarding COVID-19 protocol, employees felt confused and overloaded with information. Although some universities were partially prepared for the pandemic by having crisis management teams in place prior to COVID-19, many universities struggled to handle the magnitude of the crisis. This led to unclear communication and increased demands on employees, which increased feelings of burnout. participants also shared coping strategies they developed to manage the paradoxical engagement experiences. The strategies focused on adjusting expectations and boundaries to help reduce stress and regulate workload demands. However, some participants experienced disengagement and burnout when the strategies were not effectively utilized. Despite these difficulties, many participants described feeling grateful for job security during the pandemic. These findings expanded upon previous research investigating the various issues and tensions surrounding employee engagement experiences. The themes that were drawn from the data illustrate the paradoxical nature of employee engagement. Contrary to previous work suggesting that internal communication helps improve employee engagement, this study demonstrated how, during a period of crisis, communication can play a large role in creating these tensions. Communication served as both a positive resource for collaboration, but also as an overwhelming demand that can lead to burnout. The authors emphasize the importance of incorporating strategies that address employee engagement and burnout into pre-crisis planning, especially in high-demand workplaces like universities. Prioritizing employees' communication preferences can help prevent disengagement and support employees during difficult organizational times. So this concludes my presentation. Thank you for listening.